The Red-Headed Girl. This is a story about my first crush. I was just a kid living in Waterloo, Iowa. Next door to me lived a little red-headed girl, and I'm telling you, I was in love with this little red-headed girl from the first time I ever saw her. This isn't really a picture of that particular girl, but you get the idea. She had a lot of freckles. To this day, I think freckles are beautiful. She wore cat's eye glasses. I thought that was pretty glamorous. She got straight A's. She was by far the smartest kid in my class. She loved Nancy Drew mysteries. I think every month her mom and dad bought her another Nancy Drew mystery. She must have had 20, 25 of them, and she read all of them. And I read quite a few of them, too. I'd sit on the floor in her bedroom and read Nancy Drew just so I'd have something to talk to her about. Art, she was good at art. All our teachers thought she was the best artist in our class. Her pictures were always more ambitious and elaborate than everybody else's pictures. My friends, they tended to be interested in the more advanced girls, the girls that were growing up fast and growing breasts and had hickeys. But for me, it was all about the little red-headed girl. Oh, this is kind of the complication. She had a boyfriend. He was good looking, and he was the best athlete in our class. He was the captain of the safety patrol. You can't get much cooler than that. Compared to him, I was nothing. One time, I wrote my name on her dad's car. I don't know if maybe somehow magically that she might decide to forget about the patrol captain and fall in love with me if I wrote my name on the car. And I'm not like this. I didn't use paint or anything, but the back end of the car was kind of muddy, and I wrote my name in the mud. And her dad found out, and he figured out it was me. Of course, it's my name. And so he knocked on the door and told my dad, and I ended up having to wash his entire car. Ooh, and then I carved our initials in the school asphalt. Our school was surrounded by an apron of asphalt, and I carved my initials plus her initials. And oh my God, I don't know. I don't know what I thought. I thought somehow this is going to make her love me, I'm sure. Really, what happened was the next day she found out about it, and I had to real quickly I had to lie and say it really isn't your initials. There was this other girl in our class that had the same initials, and so I said it was her, and it was this other girl's initials. And then of course the friends of the other girl came to me and said, she doesn't really love you either. She doesn't even really like you. So, and then even worse, the next morning the principal came to our room and he got me out of there and he took me out and he pointed at this thing in the asphalt. He said, "Did you do this?" And I had to admit it. Yes, I did it. And who's this? Who's these other initials? And I lied and said it was the other girl because I did not want to besmirch the reputation of the redheaded girl. And I said, "No, she didn't know about it. It was just me. It was just she doesn't even like me that much." And so he made me get a shovel full of sand and pour it on top of the initials and rub it with my shoes until I erased our initials. Oh, this is kind of sad. This is Rufus. The red-headed girl had a dog named Rufus. She's a mutt. Used to run around the neighborhood. You didn't have to use leashes back in those days. And one day Rufus ran right into the path of a car in front of my house and got hit and killed. And poor Rufus's dead body was laying right there in her front yard. And she came home, and I was watching this whole thing, and she saw Rufus from a distance, and I thought she'd just think Rufus was asleep, but she realized immediately something horrible happened, and she yelled, and she ran, and she embraced Rufus's body, and that was one of the first times I ever heard truly heartbroken crying. And I thought anybody who loved a dog that much must have a really good heart. She moved away after sixth grade. She and her entire family moved away and broke my heart. Oh, this is kind of a weird thing that happened that same summer. Um, we just had a kind of a pickup softball game. It was boys on one side and girls on the other side. And I don't know if you remember that time of life, but that's right when girls are actually bigger than boys. At least a lot of the girls are. Some of them are a whole head taller. And the girls, man, they were clobbering the boys. Pretty soon it was 2-0, and it was 8-0, and then it was 10-0. And I mean, every time it seemed like every other girl would hit a home run. And I got the feeling that, you know, this game is never going to get to be over. I mean, all of us boys were depressed. And of course, the girls were having the time of their life. And I thought that other girl with the same initials as the redheaded girl, she's running around the bases. I'm playing second base. And I thought, yeah, you know, this will be funny. And I tripped her. And you know what? It wasn't that funny. She landed right on her elbow and broke her arm. And crying, and I was terrified, and it stopped the game just like that. And all the girls gathered around her, and they were looking at me like I was dirt, and they, you know, helped her home, and you know, that's how I became a disgrace, the disgrace of my entire neighborhood, I think. So that was the summer I learned about, you know, love and pain and happiness and suffering. I really don't know what happened to the little redheaded girl. Did she become a girl astronaut like she wanted? Did she become a girl detective like Nancy Drew and get a red roadster and solve crimes? Did she ever find true love? I hope she did. Oh, and that girl I tripped. I hope she never got arthritis in that elbow.